Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Barb Wire Bite podcast. I'm here with your host, as always, Pitbull number one, aka Gary Wolf.
What's up, guys? What's happening?
Did you have a good Halloween?
I had about, I don't know, like 19 kids, maybe 19 kids maybe came by my place. That was about it. Slow.
Did you wear your wrestling outfit?
Honestly, though, back in the day when I lived in Philly, I lived in South Philly. So I was only like 10 blocks, 12 blocks from the arena. So I'd have little kids knock on my door all the time. I lived around the neighborhood. Plus, like, especially nights before shows, we'd have a few people over and, we'll have like a happy hour before we go to work, put it that way. You know what I mean? So
They all knew who you were there, didn't they?
yeah, we had a little clique, our Philly clique, we were cool. We kept it low. We didn't want too many people into it because then it would have got out of hand, you know what I mean? And we didn't want to be blamed for something stupid that happened. So we would, honestly, most of the guys from like Steve, Stone Cold, Mongo, he used to always come by. Rick Rude used to hang out with us, a lot. Steve Rude was, we got to the point where actually, I remember we were doing my neck angle. When I broke my neck, we were doing that angle. And I had my halo on, and I had, it was like a 2.5 hour drive. And they were like, you don't have to come to the building yet. You don't have to come to the building yet. Because Paul knew when I walk in there, everybody's going to get freaked out when they see me walk in with a fucking halo. And that can fuck with other people's heads, then you get the yips, you know what I mean? You don't want that shit. So I get it. So I was like, no problem, I don't blame you. I'll stay home and I had to be miserable, But I about 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks into it, I started getting used to it, wearing it. So 4 weeks into it, it's in me, it's on me. I can't do nothing about it. I just have to, thank God it's summer. You know what I mean? So I just had my wife hose me down the backyard like a dog. You know what I mean? Because you couldn't take it off. It was connected to me, to my head. So I just had to take the felt, the inside would come off and I put a new inside on. It had we washed and shit like that. So, but that was fun, crazy, And then, like I said, we would just hang out. We'd do happy hour, and then we would head to the arena and get ready for work, for the big shows, at the arena.
Most of you guys lived out there. They didn't fly a ton of people in, did they?
Sabu had his own bus at one spot at one time. Yeah. I was traveling in that motherfucker with him. That was awesome. I mean, Shane was Pittsburgh. It wasn't bad. I don't think he flew in. I don't know, because the times were different back then, and it was crazy, flights and shit. I'm sure Tommy. Most of the New York guys, they would fly in 1 or 2 guys, 3 guys here and there, I guess. But I didn't realize. I thought they were flying everybody in. Because at one point we were at that stage where, all right, we're all going to Florida. So none of us lived in Florida, so we knew we were going to be on a plane. And that was cool, going down to Florida with all those crazy guys and being in ECW. And we just did that Orlando, Daytona loop, and then we were out.
Yeah, I always liked your Florida shows. You only did them a couple times a year, though, it seemed like.
Nights, yeah. I don't know why. I mean, we had a blast. He would say, look, we'll fly you down if you want. Some of the guys are like, fuck it. We'll just rent a car and drive. It'd be a lot cheaper. And they didn't care. You know what I mean? Like, I remember once we were going to Florida and I had to take care of business. I had to take care of something. And I said, I ain't driving, man. I can't drive. I can't drive that. I'm not gonna drive. And Ant and Sandman were like, screw it, we're gonna drive. Fuck it. You know what I mean? I don't care. You know, so I was like, all right. So I met them down there and it was cool, you know. But I didn't want to get on that drive because I knew it's crazy driving. I've been on the road with Sandman a long time, you know. I was actually talking to Todd Gordon a couple of days ago. He told me, he's like, look, bro, you should tell him a story when we went to Ted Petty, rest in peace. The Cheetah Kid passed away. The van, we took the Sandman van that drove us to the fucking seven. We went to New York where he was getting buried. And Hack was a mess, man. He was a mess. Like he was up drinking like we left the night early just so we don't have to get pressured to getting there on time. You know what I mean? The way Sandman drives, if he drives, there's a half a gallon of vodka sitting right there. You know, it's crazy, you know, and he brought his wife, and me and Todd Gordon are sitting in the back. And we're like driving down. I remember we're going down the turnpike, man, and I'm telling you, it got bad. I mean, we had to like practically dress him to get him to the funeral itself. You know, that in itself was a mess. And then coming home, it was like we almost killed him. We were going to kill him. Literally, it was at that point we were like, dude, we got to beat the fuck out of this motherfucker. You know what I mean? It has to happen. It just does. I mean, if Todd didn't grab the wheel, I wouldn't be talking to you today. That's how out of control it was. You know what I'm saying? Like the wheel was let go. The van started fucking swaying. You know what I mean? And Todd happened to be the closest guy to the wheel next to Lori, Sandman's wife, and Todd actually jumped over him and grabbed the wheel and at least got control. That scared the shit out of us, man. It was a rib, but it wasn't a rib at all. It was one of them times where holy shit, like angel was on your shoulder, that you know it. That's how close, that's how it felt. But it was crazy, man.
Did Todd kind of keep Sandman in line?
Oh, I had to keep Sandman in line sometimes. Yeah, absolutely. Tried to, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, he would say, okay, you gotta cool out. Gotta stop. You know, he'd stay up drinking all night. You know, it was just a bad time in our business, wrestling business, that everybody was passing away. It was just fucked up, man. You know what I mean? Like nobody, it just started hitting us, but we didn't realize it until we started looking around, you know, and seeing everybody else. You know, when you're in the ECW, we're in ECW, we're locked in that little block. I didn't care what WWF was doing. I would watch WCW because I knew I was going there next. So, but
I always gave Sandman a lot of credit because he was not in fighting trim shape, so to speak, in ECW the first run, but when he went to WCW and he had to be, you know, just Hack, I could tell he got in better shape. Actually, he seems like he's a pretty decent, like actually mat wrestler. Like he was really good. He was really sound because he couldn't, you know, hit people with shit. So he actually was really good over there.
What Hack brought to the table was when he came to the business, he was a rugby player. He used to play rugby. So he was tough. He was already tough. So he could take a hit and it didn't, you know what I'm saying? That's how he was. Because when I first met him, I mean, I even told him, I said, you know, he's bigger than me, he's tall. You know, he's gotta be 6'4", right? 6'3", something like that.
Yeah, I'm not very tall, so everyone's tall to me.
I'm 5'9", yeah. So
yeah,
I mean,
same here, like 5'9", 5'10".
Yeah, Hacker, I would say he's at least 6'3", 6'4", you know what I mean? But he can move. With that body, he could wrestle, and he could. You know what I mean? And like I said, I met him in Philadelphia. I told you the story before. and he did it. So he's the man.
Did you watch AEW this week or last week, I should say?
AEW.
It was the big Halloween match at the end. The Dark Order in their costumes against the Super Elite in their Ghostbuster costumes.
Yeah, I think I did see some of that.
I loved it. I know a lot of people have been shitting on it because they were like dressed up, and it was fun. I had a good time with it.
They did it for the kids, the young kids. They're kids themselves. You know what I mean? They're just giving everybody a different product. That's how I look at it. I mean, I would watch that. I could watch AEW. I can deal with it. I could watch it. You know what I mean? When it makes sense to me. I saw Taz's boy wrestle.
He's terrible. Eddie Kingston was on him, and Bryan Danielson tore it up.
I loved that one. Loved it. Bryan Danielson, that match was awesome. And you see the side? I mean, look at the shape that Bryan's in now.
Oh, he's in great shape. Probably the best he's ever been.
He's got time now. He's got time. He's probably working 2 days a week right now. You know, so right now he's thinking, you know, this is the perfect time. This is like, okay, let me get my fucking body ready because next he's doing Japan. And he's been in Japan before. He was in Japan for peanuts, man, peanuts. Now brothers will get paid. You know what I mean? It's time. It's just the way it is, man, in the business. That's how it always has been, will be, and it will always be that way. You will have your superstars in Japan. You would have your superstars in America. It doesn't matter, man. But he's the next to go back, but go back bigger and better than he was before. He's going to get paid like AJ and like Jericho. You know, imagine if AJ goes back, we'll have to give him a night.
God, he'd have to be close to $1 million for a night's work.
Yeah, and he started that whole elite thing. So you know where he's going to go after that. He'll probably go right to AEW. I mean, Adam Cole did it. I can't believe it, man.
Now, who do you got this week? This week is the match I'm very curious for. It's the finals of the Eliminator Tournament, Moxley against Orange Cassidy. I don't foresee Orange Cassidy winning, but the owner of the company, Tony Khan, openly admits that's his favorite wrestler. But Moxley is also on a whole nother level. So I'm curious what kind of match these two are going to put on.
I bet you this will be the first time you'll see Orange Cassidy actually work, like have to really work hard. He's going to work his ass off. Moxley's going to go out there and work and run him because that's what he does, man. You know, that's how his style is. That's how I like it. I mean, I get to see it. He's in Japan. He's probably getting $100,000 a night there right now. Easy. You know, just by being on WWF and. You know, I don't know who's going to be doing business. All I know is Japan better be doing business with AEW, and then there's going to be a problem, man. I'm telling you. If I said if New Japan and AEW were capable of working out some kind of deal, they will make a lot of fucking money. You know, and that's to the T. I know that for a fact. They would kill it.
I want to ask you, not last week, but the following week, the previous week, because we didn't have a show last week. The previous week, Dark Side of the Ring did kind of a smear job show on Rob Black's XPW. Rob Black was not on the show, but the Messiah was, Sabu was, archive footage of New Jack was. XPW is going to relaunch in about 4 days. Their new TV show's up. Now, did you think the Dark Side of the Ring portrayed that kind of accurate in the fact that they said Paul Lee had a deal with Rob to work on the West Coast. And then when he got the TNT deal, he just fucked him over. So Rob was like, fuck you, I'll start my own company.
I worked for him. I mean, I can tell you what do you want to know?
Was he? I heard he paid really well.
He took care of us. I'm not going to lie. The Pitbulls, when we went as a tag team, actually Big Dick was the one that got us in. Rob Black was looking for a tag team, and Big Dick was there, and it was like straight up. He's like, dude, you use the Pitbulls because they're in Puerto Rico now with us. You know what I mean? And they got the belts. So he fucking brought us in. And it was cool. It was all right. He brought us in. There were so many things I would have never went to or did in my life if I didn't work for Rob Black.
What was he like? Was he the booker too? Because I know I've heard he was the booker, and I've heard Shane Douglas say he was the booker. So I've heard two stories.
I don't know. I mean, Shane wasn't really there much when I was there. It was different people there. That's when they were actually trying to make their own gangster team. Like the gangsters with New Jack and Mustafa. Well, I don't know if they had to deal with somebody else or what the deal was, but they wanted them. But they brought us in to go against the team that they were building up like them guys. You know what I mean? So later on, Rob could get New Jack and Mustafa to show up and wrestle his New Jack and Mustafa, his gangsters. But yeah, I mean, yeah, he was the booker. He was the fucking boss. He was like, the show was actually about him. I mean, no bullshit.
That was my only issue with it, was because it was he was the evil owner with the Black Army and all that. And I'm not singling him out. I didn't like when Bischoff was the evil owner. I didn't like when Rob Black was the evil owner. I liked when Vince was, and then Vince unfortunately had to bring his whole family into it. I think the evil owner thing has long run its course. I pray to God I never see Tony Khan on TV, but Black, from what I remember.
I heard, I'm gonna cut you off. I heard he wasn't really a TV person. Like, he didn't want to be on TV. Like,
that's good.
That is good. I mean, look at Vince. I mean, he got to the point he was fucking wrestling.
He was an ECW heavyweight champion.
Telling me, man, if that itself does not show you what a mark he was for us.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't just admit, you guys got a good thing. Let's back you up and make more money. Yeah, we'll give you more money, Paul. Keep it rolling. Let's keep it rolling. You bringing us in, you had the A fucking team. You had the B team. We could have been the C team. You know what I'm saying? Back then, you'd be hitting 3 cities at one night. And that's how it was. He didn't want to do that, man. And I think the original idea was Shane was supposed to take it over. And then all of a sudden, Vince changed his mind. As a father and son thing, been through that.
Well, on the XPW, they were kind of making it out like, this was a cheap ECW copy, which I understand the similarities, although I think XPW went a lot crazier with some of their guys, but they kind of made it out like it was a horribly ran shell of a company. But I remember on the DVDs and the TV shows from back in the day, even going back into the VHS, there were some good houses there. I mean, you guys worked in some pretty decent sized building. You were in the arena a bunch of times too.
Dude, it was Missy Hyatt. I think when we were there, Missy Hyatt was our valet. So she would just hang out with us. And over there, I mean, he owned the porn. They were doing porn movies, like right next to the next like building or the next door down the hall or something. They were videoing something. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here, man. He's like, this is California, bro. He was making a lot of money. I think his father passed away or something, gave him the company, and he took it over. And I mean, he had some tapes that were worth so much money. It was crazy. But he always paid us. I never had a problem with him paying me. But yeah, the way they portrayed it, it made it seem like he's always wanted to be in charge, wants to be he wants to be Vince McMahon. You know what I mean? Why?
Yeah, he had
Why?
his own thing. The only time I got kind of like, and I get why he did it, like I think it was toward about the middle. Once ECW folded, here comes Sabu, here comes the Sandman, here comes the Pitbulls. Who else? Here comes Cronus, here comes New Jack. They started bringing in a ton of ECW people, so it almost kind of felt like a. I guess that's why maybe people would think it became kind of a copy, but they had their own guys. You know, Messiah, Supreme. They had GQ. I can't remember, was it GQ Money? He did the home invasion where he tried to rape fucking what was Black's wife? Was that Lizzie Borden?
Oh yeah, Lizzie Borden.
He tried to rape her when Black was comatose. I mean, their show really was, I mean, it was tacky as hell, but I mean, it ran for a long time. It was good. It was what a hardcore independent company should be, in my opinion. I liked it.
I gotta make sure. I gotta look at some. I gotta make sure I ain't on none of them tapes.
They're all on YouTube.
Fuck.
Douglas and Candido. When Douglas went there, I didn't like it because he was recycling his ECW stuff. It was 100% recycled.
Yeah, when we were there. We were going against Public Enemy and shit like that. So it was like, welcome home. You know what I mean? Is it right back to business? I mean, I remember Rob freaking out. We had to do a match, and I remember running around. I had to run down Hollywood Boulevard actually to go into the building. That's one of the places we run right on that fucking road with stars and shit. Yeah, we fucking knocked that whole XPW fucking metal thing over, man. We knocked that fucker over. I thought people were gonna die. I was like, "Are you sure?" You know, and Teddy, Rocco Rock was like, "Yeah, man, fuck it. You know, let's just flip it." You know, and we did that. He went crazy, man. I remember he was just like running out of the back, pulling his hair out. He thought somebody got killed. I mean, he made sure he always got in that shot one way or another. You know, we were going to the finish anyway, right there. So it was like, yeah, you know, he was part of the finish pretty much. But he came up to me one time, man. We were there another time. I think Missy Hyatt was there still. She might not have been. But we had to wrestle the gangster guys, like I told you. He brought me a script. He came in the room, and he's like, "Here you go. Pitbull 1, take it." I'm like, "You got it, brother. You got it." You know, leaves a girl in there with us. Missy Hyde sitting in the back, just like chilling on the couch, relaxing. Leanne's sitting there. I'm reading this. I started reading this thing, and I'm like, "Are you fucking high, man? Are you fucking shitting me?" He wrote out the whole match, step by step, and move for move. I'm like, that's impossible, bro. I mean, you're asking for something. You're not even including the cage. I mean, I must have went through 2 or 3 paragraphs before the cage was even mentioned. You know, and it was like, okay, we got a problem. You know, and then he's like, we need color. And I was just like, all right, well, no problem. That's no problem. And they're like, what about you, Anthony? Do chair shot. And I said, no. And Ant said, yeah. And I said, no, man, you take too many fucking chair shots. And I remember we actually got in an argument that night. He's like, what the fuck, man? I'm the one that takes all the fucking chair shots. I'm like, yeah, that's why I'm telling you. I don't want you to do anymore. I mean, you do enough of them, for God forbid. You know what I mean? I said, it's getting to the point where I can start seeing a difference. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Concussions fuck you up, man.
Oh yeah. Now they had Luke Hawx on there, and he was talking about how he covered his head, and they said, well, Rob Beck was going to pay him back, and he handcuffed him up, and Supreme had to give him a bunch of unprotected chair shots. I don't know Luke Hawx. I and this is nothing against him, but I'm not an idiot. I watched him, and I'm gonna imitate it. I'm handcuffed or whatever. I'm chained up. He takes the first chair shot and he drops. So but if you watch his hand, whatever he's hooked to, he's holding on to it. He's not like just hanging there. He's holding himself up to take these chair shots. Do you really believe Black would say you covered yourself up, hit him in the head 10 times with the chair for payback?
No, I don't think Luke Hawk would stand for that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know I used to always bust his balls when I seen him. I've always tell him, get big, put size on, put size on. Now I can't get him to shut up. All he talks about is my arms.
Oh, he made it a point in that episode every few minutes, big, yeah. And then I was, it's like he's like trying to flex the whole time.
I give him props, man. And he's been in the business a while. You know what I'm saying? He never really got his. I don't know why. I personally don't know why he should be working in Japan. Not with his son, but he should be there by himself, working solo in Japan. He's that good, I think. That's my opinion. He can hang with those Japs over there. He's got it. Because now he puts size when he can take it. Before he was real little. But everybody does things differently. Something that you shouldn't take a picture of and then open your mouth to somebody about it. You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. So he did do some stuff like that pissed a lot of people off. So I don't know if he has heat with who, but I do know he did something stupid. But
did Messiah do something stupid? Do you believe I believe he fucked Lizzie Borden, but do you really believe Rob Black put a hit on him?
A lot more people than Rob Black fucking Lizzie Borden, bro.
I would think that if I had the money, the adult entertainment money, and I put a hit on somebody, they'd be bringing me back your dick and not your thumb.
Like I said, dude, I met some fucking crazy characters, man. I'm not going to bullshit you. That's why when I saw that XPW show, I was like, it brought back memories like, oh shit, like that blonde looks familiar, but she's a lot older now.
Oh, the one with all the tats like on her throat and that? Yeah, she used to be really, really cute. No disrespect to her now. She's just like all of us, older.
Yeah, big time. And Lizzie looked the same, but I didn't know that they locked her up too.
Yeah, they both got it. I kind of wonder if he never would have got locked. And I really don't get that. I mean, what he was making wasn't like it was illegal. It was just rough porn. It was rough for the time porn. It's weird shit, but I don't get why he went to jail. I guess though, if you keep challenging the government, they are going to come after you.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was having that much problems with it. You know what I'm saying? I just knew he was just so into his XPW. I mean, it's hard for me to see him switch the camera off from that job and going to his porn job. You know what I mean? Because he was just wanted to act so bad. It was just so bad. I mean, it was like porn movie acting. If you watch some of the videos and some of the shit, man. And yeah, so I guess that guy that he was pushing was banging his girl, which doesn't make any, I don't doubt that for a second.
No, I don't doubt that.
Okay. And number one, if you're going to get into business, you keep your girl home. You don't bring her into business. Okay. And if you do, I think well, I hope it doesn't happen, but I just see bad things down the road, bro. That's how I look at it.
I just always looked at it as a work. I mean, I've said that before. I think the guy had it. I don't know. I think he was in on it. I think he had somebody cut off his thumb. I don't know him. That's my opinion. I don't know. It just seemed too weird to me.
I mean, I'm looking at my hand. I don't know how much money would you take for your thumb?
You can buy my thumb. You can buy a couple fingers.
Oh man. And that's real, right? Supposedly somebody cut off his fucking thumbs.
Yeah, and the way Sabu told the story was they were shut up, dog. They were supposed to cut off his dick, but instead they got the thumb and didn't think the guy would notice. It's like that's like the plot of a bad comedy. I mean, if I paid you to bring me back a dick and you brought back a thumb, you two would end up in the gutter. So, well, maybe that's why they never caught him. I don't know, but then the rumor was that maybe it was New Jack that did it because he looked like one of the composite drawings. And to me, that was great publicity. You know, it made America's Most Wanted, and everybody, what's this XPW stuff that I'm hearing about on Fox television? You know,
that's what you want, honestly. But he went to the extreme, you can say, to get that done. I'm not going to deny it. I mean, yeah, he was pretty crazy. I mean, but like I said, I got to do a lot of things that I would have never done in my lifetime. I remember we were there for Halloween.
Shut up, dog. The dog doesn't like XPW.
Oh, shit. But we had 2 shows. So one of the shows got canceled. And that was the Halloween night one. And I was just pissed, man. I was like, man, are you fucking kidding me? I'm sitting in a hotel room by myself. Because sometimes me and my partner would get separate rooms. So we have our own room. Because he likes to do his thing, I like to do my thing. You know, so next thing you know, the girls that were on the show, 2 of them came up and wanted us to go out with them and go to, Halloween parties. I said, fucking no, I'm staying home, man. I'm ordering the pie. Fuck it, I'm pissed off. So my partner was like, fuck it, man. He goes, I'm going with the girls. I said, go. I'm chilling, man. I'm pissed off. Because he's not even kicking me back half the money. You know what I mean? More or less, I flew down for that night for nothing. I get paid by the night. So you got to pay me for that night. If I'm not working and something happens, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. You're going to give me half, which I think is fair. Because we went at it on the phone, and I told him. Exactly. Talk about it. So I went out with them and went to all those parties. Man, it was great. So much because they were going in bars, and it was actually a good idea. So I was like, by that time, I said, why should I sit in my room and just be pissed off? I said, screw it. I said, because they came knocking on my door, I took off with them, and guess where they took me? Fucking to the Playboy Mansion.
Nice.
They go, we're going to hit one place first, and then we're going to go to Hugh's party. And I'm like, Hugh, who's you? I'm like, and they go, Hugh Hefner. I was like, what? I said, the Playboy Mansion. They're like, yeah, Halloween party. We got passes. I was like, fucking A. Best Halloween night of my life. I can say as growing up in the business early. It's awesome. Met Hugh a couple times, met little mini me. He used to always hang out there in a cart. He would drive around in his cart.
Oh, Vern,
yeah. And I remember Hugh Hefner saying to me, yo, gotta get him out of here, man. I'm like, because Hugh was cool. Like if you didn't have a place, if you were just down for a couple of days or something, he would say you could stay here. That's how many rooms that mansion had. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, he had 2 or 3 houses, like boom, boom, boom. It was like crazy. And his number 1 rule was don't go to the left side. Stay out of that. That backyard is for his kids and his wife, I guess. Stayed there in that house. Another mansion. But it was a great time. And another time we were there, when we were staying at Universal Studios. I remember we met the guys that set up the party after MTV, after the music video awards back in the day when they would actually show music videos
I remember that.
on fucking MTV instead of my little brat slut bitch whore just got pregnant and she's fucking 16 or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they put that shit over. You know, they put that shit over, dude. That makes me sick. I'm disgusted.
Now, what do you think in 3 days? Wait, so today we're airing this on. In 4 days, XPW is back. You know, they've had their TV show, which is on YouTube. I think he's going to have it on Fight TV. It's going to be a pay-per-view Sunday. He's going to have, I know he's got Brian Cage. He's got Silas Young. He's got Schlack. Going to be a big tournament to crown the champion. Going to be a few death matches in there. It's at the Armory. You know, it's on Fight. I'm assuming more people are going to watch it on Fight than the Armory. That's a pretty decent sized building to sell out for an indie show on a Sunday. But do you think this is going to do something, or do you think it's just going to kind of come and go?
As far as affecting WWE and AEW,
It's like getting like a weekly TV show again or monthly shows, or do you think it's just kind of going to be a random thing?
depends on how much cash he has. I mean, that's what it comes down to, is money. You got to pay money for the guys. You got to pay money for the building. You got to pay money for the ring. You got to pay for everything. I mean, is he that well off that he could try again? Maybe. You know, there's just too much competition, you know, out there now. There's too many hardcore things out there now that are already have taken the spot of ECW and actually turned it upside down. You know what I mean? I mean, AEW, I think, is the closest thing to ECW there is.
Oh, now see, I like GCW, Game Changer Wrestling, who in a month is going to be doing a show from the Hammerstein Ballroom. You know, they're going to be doing a big show from there. Is New York going to let you get, is they going to let Nick Gage go that crazy with the pizza cutter and a light tube in New York? Their athletic commission's a little stricter there.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The athletic commission strict in New York. Yeah, they have to check all them guys. I don't know, man.
I like Gage. I don't think he's the most talented guy out there, but what he does works. The people love him. He gets flash mobbed when he comes out of that curtain. So he's doing something right.
No, he looks good. You could tell he put the work in to get where he's at. You know, he looks good and he could work. But the difference between him and everybody else in his age and his bracket is look at his body, look at everybody else's body. You know what I mean? I mean, he's the biggest cat there is out there in that age group and that, you know, I guess, era that he's in, or that we're in.
You know, for me, G's like, I want to see XPW succeed. I like to see anything succeed, but you know, they're doing what GCW is doing. I can watch like, oh, we've got G Raver. Okay, well, I've seen G Raver doing his death match, and this everybody that they have, I can see somewhere else that's already done it. So and that's why I just kind of worry. It's like, are you going to stay and you're going to be doing up in the Armory? I think that's New York. Why not go stay on California in the West Coast area there where there is none of this stuff, all that GCW and all that stuff, that's East Coast right now.
I mean, I've been to the West Coast recently, and honestly, he should go back there and do it. There's a lot of competition around the East Coast. A lot of independent in New Jersey, Philadelphia, all over Pennsylvania, all over New Jersey. Even Delaware is getting built up. Everybody's building it up. North Jersey, South Jersey.
Do you think we'll ever see a time like back in even the time before us, the older days, where you could make a living working a territory like in these 3 cities or these 3 towns, and you travel almost like the town in Heels? You think that'll ever happen again?
It's almost as close as that now. It's getting. I mean, if I look out every weekend, most of my friends and I were usually working. You know what I mean? And I'm used to that being in ECW. I fly out. I go to work Friday night, whatever. Got Saturday, and then I travel home on Sunday. You know, and that's what pretty much we're all doing now. You know, and obviously Brian Cage don't have a contract with AE, you know, or they have in his contract that he can do all the independents he wants, as long as AEW comes first. But they may not. I don't think they gave out a lot of contracts. That's why all these guys were working so much in independence. You know what I mean? There's just so many. Yeah.
You know, and before I forget to ask you, Ring of Honor is going on hiatus. Nothing goes on hiatus, you close. You don't go take a 5-month break, you close, and hopefully you can restructure. They let everybody out of their contracts too, and the tape libraries for sale. Come on, that I don't think they're coming back.
No, they're looking to sell ROH, the logo. Everybody does that. I remember, bro, back in the day when the owner of Combat Zone, the real person who came up with the Combat Zone, was selling it. And I just heard, I'm like, what do you mean he's selling CZW? Who cares about 3 letters, CZW? Like, in my mind, I didn't think it mattered. I didn't think it, like, what, like I was just telling him, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And then come to find out, this guy probably paid a lot of money and gave him a ton of cash. And he was bringing that company to Japan. So imagine what Japan was paying him to bring his company there. Yeah, they're the ones that started the light tubes and all that shit and the fucking grate. Oh no, we used the cheese grater. We had the cheese.
Yeah,
grater.
Dreamer always said that, and then he'd lick it.
Oh yeah, he's nuts. He would. I wouldn't doubt it.
I don't think I'd want Johnny Grunge's blood in my mouth.
Man, it's like taking a shot of Jack Daniels.
He would do it with Raven too. Every time he'd cut him, he'd lick it or something like that. I was like, Jesus, dude.
Yeah, I think Bully Ray had that little that he was into that blood shit too. I think.
Yeah, I don't get it. I remember when Ring of Honor first started. That was Feinstein company before he had some issues, so to speak.
There you go. Somebody bought it from him.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? He sold 3 letters. It's like RF Video. I mean, he owns that. He just happened to be lucky, and he had a handheld camera, and he was at the building, and nobody knew who he was. And I remember Paul was like, yo, why don't you film from your camera so we have like an archive of a different video package, you know what I'm saying? And he did that. And I think he has all the original.
That's where I think everybody bought him from. I remember every month I was getting my ECW because he went with you guys anywhere you went. The fan cam shows, he recorded the house shows, TV shows, you know, and which basically the TV shows he was just taping off of a fucking sports channel and selling them with original commercials or something. But he had to have made a hell of a nice amount of money selling ECW stuff.
Of course he did. He made a ton of money.
And then that all kind of went away. Ring of Honor, you know, Sinclair. Ring of Honor, I always thought they had people there. Like, I mean, a lot of people passed through there. All the elite, Owens, fucking Rollins, Cesaro, Cody, the Bucks, but they never really caught on. To me, they were always just another indie company with a local syndicated TV show that really wasn't that good.
I can't watch that. You know? Yeah, I couldn't watch that.
Do you think if they would have put the Bucks and Cody and them under contract, they'd be where AEW is now with those guys? They had them there.
I'm surprised. Well, I don't know. Vince would have probably reached out to him as well.
I want to know who's going to buy these tapes because Vince wants the tapes because he's got his network. Tony Khan wants to start a streaming service, which seems too soon for a company that's 2 years old. He wants that footage because all his guys were over there. I mean, they could conceivably have a huge bidding war for that library.
Well, it's Khan's library. I mean, there's nothing that Vince could say anything about it. I mean, he owns the company, he owns the footage. So I don't Vince could throw millions and millions of dollars at him. He could still say no. Vince ain't got it. I mean, that's the problem. I was just telling my girl. Vince let so many people go that all the signings and conventions are like getting so full because the promoters are actually bringing all them guys in because they just got off television, which makes sense. You know, they're the guys to bring in, but their guys are going to cost the most. But it's hurting a lot of other guys. You know, I mean, Vince cut a lot of people out. A lot. I mean, I bet you Charlotte Flair is only there because of the father.
They're saying she's trying to get fired to go with her boyfriend. I mean, if she is, she's pretty stupid because she's got a job for life where she is. And I mean, I'm not a big fan of Andrade. I think he lacks any and all charisma. I think he's good in the ring, but I don't think he can talk. I don't think
he can't talk.
He can't draw the people in, so to speak. He's just somebody you don't care about.
Yeah,
he won't be there long.
He can't speak fluent English, I don't think yet. Like even the Spanish tag team.
Oh, the Lucha Brothers.
Lucha Brothers.
My son's favorite team.
Phoenix actually could speak English pretty well right now. And when he first started working, when he started with Lucha Libre, it was called, or something.
Oh, Lucha Underground.
Lucha Underground.
Loved Lucha Underground.
Yeah, we watched it. It was a good story.
Oh yeah, it was like watching a horror show every week with some wrestling.
That's what it looked. That's what it was. It was goofy, but because they used all the stunt stuff from Hollywood, which was great. You know, the wood was fake. The fucking tire irons really plastic, and I think it's metal. The bottle that breaks easily over your head. But they had a lot of talent there, man.
Mm-hmm.
Now Vince, I would have had an agent over there like studying that show, saying, "Look at him, look at him, look at him. Let's get him. Let's bring him in. Let's definitely bring him in." I mean, I don't understand.
AEW snatched up damn near half that roster.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Because they put everybody's like, what's that real tall guy's name? Real tall, he acts like the dragon or something.
Oh, the Luchasaurus.
Luchasaurus, yes.
Guy can move for his size.
Oh my God, he's a great martial artist because you can tell all his kicks that he does. He did that before he got into the wrestling business. But yeah, Jungle Boy's cool. So it's funny how he comes out on his shoulders.
I like little Marco Stunt. I'd like to see him wrestle more.
The little guy?
Yeah. He wrestles for Game Changer. He tears the house down in these matches. He can work his ass off, but I think they realize that the guy's the size of a 12-year-old, so they don't have him really do a lot except take a bump every now and again.
Dude, I'll wrestle and have a great match because he weighs 100 pounds. I'll catch him with no problem, man. He can do any move he wants. I did notice that a lot with the AEW guys. They depend on each other and they have each other's backs because they do a lot of blind aerials, moves that should be finishes. You know what I mean? Done, match over. Sometimes they do too many kickouts, too many false finishes. You got us the first 3 times. That's, get us this time and end it. You know what I mean? When they keep going, that's when it's just like, dude, you're making him look like Superman now.
Like the cage match with the Bucks and the Lucha Brothers. when Phoenix dove off the top of that 20-something foot cage, and then they still went for another 10 minutes after that. That should have been the finish, the big dive, because that was the highlight. It made all the reels. But no, they got to keep going.
That's what I'm saying. They went too far. Sometimes you got to pull it back a little bit. It just makes sense. Because then, like I said, you only have the people for so many minutes, so much time. You want to make sure they understand. You want to tell a story, especially when the match, during your whole match, you want to have a story told. So that's like MJ. What's his Morgan Freeman?
JF, that's my guy now.
Your guy. He's a good worker. I'm not saying he's not, but he needs somebody to follow. That's for right now. You know what I mean? He has fucking got the mic down. That shit's done. He can talk his way through wrestling now. He don't even have to work no more. That's how good I think he is on the mic, to be honest with you. He could be another Captain Lou Albano. You know what I mean? Who knows? Or Freddie Blassie. You know what I mean?
Bobby Heenan.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, I love that promo. And he told Sting that one time when Sting hit him, he's like, yeah, everybody that you're with gets hurt. Like even your buddy Lex Luger ends up in a wheelchair. And it's like, who says this shit? But it works. The only thing though, I've noticed, depending on who he wrestles, like him and Cody, good match. Him and Jericho, not a good match. He has to be in there with somebody that he can really lead him, I think, still. I think him and Darby will tear the house down.
That should be good. That'll be a good match.
I love Darby. That's my guy over there.
I know. I like how they're building it up too. But like I said, I watch them, and I think they're gonna have it down pat. Put it this way, they're gonna come up with a good match. He has to. If he don't, it's just gonna hurt him more. But like I said, he can talk his way out of anything. So that's the best thing about it, man. He's got the mic skills. When him and Jericho go at it with each other, sometimes I think they're just winging it, man. You know what I mean? Because if you know what you're supposed to do, and he knows what he's supposed to do, you should be able to wing it. You know what I mean? Like, you have to insult me. Well, I'm gonna insult you, all right?
Jericho's still great on the mic.
Yeah, of course he is, man. He's awesome on the mic. And being a lead singer on the band, Fozzy, doesn't help. It helps greatly, so it just gives him that more. He can out talk people or outspeak them, and he talks intelligently.
I like too. He's always been smart since he came to AEW. He's not working with Sting. He's working with a young guy. He's going to work with Orange. He's going to work with MJ. He's working with somebody that's, twice his age, that can kind of carry the pace a little bit as he's getting older. It's not disrespect. He's just in his 50s now.
He's getting ready soon, not now, but eventually he's got to pass the torch. So it's going to be that guy, that Spanish guy that has the belt, Sammy.
Oh, I love Sammy Guevara. Very small though. When I saw him against Bobby Fish, I was like, God, this kid is skinny.
Now you see how skinny he is. Now you understand. Because even I was saying it when my old lady brought it up. It's like, look at him. You can tell. I mean, even when Daniels comes out, like I said earlier, Brian Daniels would come out. I'm like, damn, he looks big. I mean, he's not as big as
Wardlow and Lance Archer. I mean, they got a couple big guys, but they got a couple big guys, just a few.
How about that Jake? Well, where's Jake been? Has he been sick?
I heard he was like sick, or he's got to be on oxygen now and everything like that. I heard he's got a lot of health problems he's dealing with.
And the guy that he managed.
Yeah, Archer. He's a big guy.
Did you see that moonsault he pulled the last show? Bro, I'm talking this close. I can't believe he didn't hurt his neck. I can't believe he didn't fucking break his neck.
I think he was supposed to go over. because I couldn't see Eddie Kingston advance. Nothing against Eddie, but I
No,
couldn't see Eddie
no,
going over that guy in a tournament.
no, that they changed that finish in the ring. Absolutely. They changed that finish in the ring. He almost fucking died, bro. I mean, I seen him, my girl saw it, and thank God he's okay because it looked bad. And they changed it in the ring on the fly, and they did a very good job covering it up. And because Eddie's a great worker, bro. He always has been. He just nobody would give him a chance. You know what I mean?
I like it. He's great on the mic.
He used to come to my school, sometimes because in Philly, we only had one school in Philadelphia. We had a lot of guys coming to our school. I would have about 40 people a night sometimes, and he would be there, and I would, everybody would always ask questions or whatever. But I always told him, I said, bro, you got to get them mic skills there. And he did. I said, and I told him the truth. I said, if you're gonna do a promo and you're gonna cut a promo, tell the truth. Don't lie. You know what I mean? Look at Flair. I mean, he's telling you what he did last night because he really did it last night. So for him, it's easy. It just flowed out of his mouth, and he never had to think of anything because it was already in his head. I mean, do you see what I'm saying? And I used to always tell all my students that, use that to get whatever you have to get across.
I always liked when Flair was in the feud with Steamboat in WCW, and Flair's got all the escorts with him, all these ladies. Like, woo, daddy, I'm with all these women last night and all that. And then Ricky Steamboat comes out. Here's his wife, beautiful, beautiful Bonnie. I think she's in a gown. She's bringing out the baby. And Ricky Steamboat said, well, this is all about the family values, Flair. That building booed Steamboat out of the building. And then I just remember Flair covered. He's like, why don't you go help the missus do the dishes? And then Steamboat started beating him up and got he got his shine back. But I just thought it was funny. Here's this guys with his wife and everything, and they're booing him out of the building for this guy who's clearly parading around a bunch of hookers in a mink coat.
Yeah, I would go to the gym every morning, and he would always say, "Hey, you want to see my wife's pictures?" Because she was a model, legit model, man.
She was gorgeous.
Oh yeah,
Bonnie, that was her.
Yeah, and I'm like, come on, Rick, man, you're making me feel like it feels weird that you want me to look at your wife's picture. So I was just like, what is up, man? He would always, I guess he was ribbing us, but his wife was beautiful, and we actually went to his house and ate. He lives on a little island in North Carolina. It's on water, and it's surrounded by water. It's a little island, man. Awesome.
I always liked him. He never turned heel either. He was always the face through his whole career.
Yeah, but he could work his ass off, man. He's one of the top 3 in the business, 4 in the business easily.
Best arm drag in the business.
Dude, you said it right there. I mean, I literally, I'm not a mark, but I tried to get my arm drags as well as his arm drag, or take him as well as he would take them. Because I would watch him versus Flair, Flair versus Macho Man versus him. So I would always watch those matches, and they would go an hour long. And you're talking 15, 20 arm drags, no problem. They're just warming up. They're just having fun, just taking those arm drags. They're just warming up for the match, man. I'm telling you. It got to a point where they could do it with their eyes closed, I think.
Now my son, when I said, you got to watch, keep in mind, folks, 12. You got to see the Ric Flair, Ricky Steamboat hour-long Chi-Town Rumble 56-minute match with wins with the chicken wing. One of the best matches ever. We get about 10 minutes in this match. This is so boring because he wants to see the Young Bucks. He wants to see the Lucha Break. He wants to see 75 super kicks, 15 moonsaults, all in the first 6 minutes. It's advanced so much that I don't think these young kids, I don't know what they're going to do in a few years.
Like I said, it's getting to the point now you have to be actually a fucking gymnast to be in our business. What the fuck is that? You know what I mean? That's why I love Moxley. That's the true grit wrestler right there. he's younger than me, but that's how I was brought up that way, to work that way, work strong, Jap style.
Now, my son does like
snug.
Mox a lot. He always has.
Yeah. If you notice, everything is snug and stiff. I mean, he lets you know before, like, I'm gonna lay it in. No problem. I'm laying it in. No problem. That's great. That's fucking great.
I always liked him because we went to, when he was Dean Ambrose and he was feuding with Jericho, they did a Monday Night Raw here. And after when the camera stops, Jericho gets back in the ring and he's running his mouth, basically practicing for what he's going to say next week. Mox comes out there. Mox hits the paradigm shift or whatever he called it back then, sends the crowd home happy. Mox went around the whole everywhere to shake hands with everybody. And then he went around a second time backwards to do it all again in case he missed anybody. So I always thought that was pretty class act because my son didn't get him the first time, but then he came back the second time and slapped everybody else. My son was my son had been like, I think 8 or 9 at the time. Like, I shook John Moxley's hand, but that made his day.
I would say, if you think about it, Moxley was too young to get in ECW. He probably tried to, because he did get in Combat Zone. He's like the second Sandman coming. That's how I look at it. He's drunk, he drinks, he likes his Jack Daniels, bro. Believe me.
Oh, his one shirt looks like a Jack Daniels design. That kid has that shirt.
Yeah, he fucking slams that. So believe me, I'm telling you, man, AEW is so much like ECW was. I'm just telling you. Except with all we had Rey Mysterio and fucking Juvi Guerrero, and we had everybody. We had Eddie, we had Dean Malenko, we had Jericho too. So it's like that all over again, bro. It's just another generation doing it. That's how I look at it. These guys got to start breaking tables better, though. That's all.
Britt Baker couldn't break that table to save her life on Friday.
Oh my God, that ruined it. That ruined it.
She even tried to put that girl through it the second time, and it didn't even. And that's a bigger girl that she was smashing through it. Didn't even bend it.
Yeah. Well, they should have gimmicked that table then for the girls. But when Taz's boy tried to put Punk through the table.
Oh yeah, it just bounced.
It blew it, man. He blew it. It blew it. I mean, you could hear it in the crowd. It just went, like they were waiting for that crash, and then you would have heard that, yeah, and you didn't get it because he didn't do it right.
At least Britt covered it with thumbtacks a few minutes later, so that got everybody. But everybody loves the thumbtack spot.
Oh yeah,
she ain't afraid to go in them either.
I'm not. To me, it's a pain in the ass taking them out of your boots after the match. That to me, that's what it is. I mean, I've been in thumbtacks plenty of times, but I stay away from glass and light tubes. That's not my shit. And if I do it, you're gonna pay me a lot of fucking money.
What about in CZW when they use those fucking gusset plates? I saw this one guy, they pounded in his fucking head and it took him like 10 minutes to pry it out. That's a road spike, for God's sakes. You'd have to pay me a lot of money to do that.
Dude, I was even saying to myself, like, what the fuck is he doing? Like, they're mutilating their bodies. They're actually taking a chance on one move from putting them in a wheelchair. I don't think they realize that. I mean, to them, I don't know if they're just, some of the shit that they did is just, and I was in ECW. So for me to say that was some of the shit that I seen them do was that fucking crazy, that I gotta admit it was insane. You know what I mean? When I saw Zandig and Joey Janela, and that's how Joey Janela got over.
Hi, Joey.
Yeah, he did the spot off the ECW arena building onto the back of a pickup truck.
Yeah, that they lit on fire and everything.
I gotta give him credit for the balls, because I wouldn't do it unless I was fucking whacked, bro. I mean,
how about the weed whacker that they did in CZW?
Dude, my boy, listen, it's funny you say that, because I trained Devin Moore. I trained you guys out there. You gotta come to this. December 18th at the ECW original arena, the 2300 building. We're going to be there. I'll be there with Just Incredible and Devin Moore, who used to come to my school and work for Combat Zone. You're talking about with the Weed Whacker was my boy that I trained. Wife Beater was his name. He came out of the Marines and came right to my school, straight out of the Marine Corps. So I had a couple. I mean, I trained Trent Acid. He'd be a fucking superstar right now if he didn't pass away. He was getting over like Rover. I mean, I know for a fact that he was invited to the fucking Bret Hart's house to talk business, to help train his kid. I mean, that's how good this kid was. But he was one of those guys that have been taken from us. So it sucks. But Wife Beater was the guy that broke out the Weed Whacker. And I even told him he was crazy, man. I said, why are you taking that, man? He's not paying you that much money. But he didn't care. He's like, I got to get over. 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 So they actually went beyond to get over them guys. But I mean, look how long they've been around, you know? Like I said, somebody keeps buying them out.
The Weed Whacker it had to be 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit longer than that, but everybody remembers it.
Well, Zandig, I think, was running it. Plug Zandig.
Yeah.
He was the one that started it. I mean, I'm not lying. He came to my school, you know, and he asked me and Anthony, because we were in ECW, so we had a school in Philly, you know, for us. And then, because we were always looking for talent to work for ECW. And then Taz with Perry Saturn had their school in New York. So we would, you know, if we brought somebody in, you know, they would look at them. You know, if we had somebody that we thought were, you know, we got somebody here ready to go, you know. And most of my guys, I mean, I gave a few of them a chance to get in ECW, some or other thing out of my control. They couldn't get in. But most of my guys always worked in Combat Zone. I mean, they always were in, like, I remember I'd be like, you're ready to go, you're good, you're done. You go book, get all the bookings you can when you're out. You know what I'm saying? I'll even help you. I'll even give you a resume. You know, I trained you. Just, you know, let me know. And a lot of my guys said, we're going to go to Combat Zone. I said, all right, go for it. You know, get over a little bit. I said, don't hurt yourself. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't too crazy then. They were just doing that's when the Maximo SATs were there. And we were actually taking them, and they were working for 3PW for Jasmine St. Clair, because I worked for her. And that's how far it goes back. They were doing the Spanish Fly. Shit, nobody did back then. You know what I mean? But now, I mean, so like I said, another guy bought it, and there you go. But like I said, Zandig owned it, and that's when Wife Beater was working for him, and the Backseat Boys, that's Johnny Cashmere and Trent were a tag team. He ended up getting a nice group of guys together that worked hard and worked 150%, you know, and they would do anything to get over, anything. And they got to the point where they were breaking the light tubes because they knew we weren't going to go there. We weren't going to the light tubes. ECW was not doing light tubes. Somebody would have died. Okay, because if I'm at ECW with light tubes and I smash it over your head and it breaks and I have a nice piece left, it's going in your throat next. So they knew not to bring that in. Especially imagine New Jack with light tubes. I mean, come on. I know he did them, but it's still the point, man. It gets to a point when you're in a ring with somebody, okay, am I safe now or am I unsafe? You know, when you're messing around with that shit. So that's how I look at it. You know, it's like, you know, recently I went up north and worked with somebody and he's like, oh man, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And I want to fly across the ring and hit you with a fucking Vince McMahon's son does with the trash can.
Oh, the coast to coast thing, like
Van Dam. Coast to coast, you know, and I'm like, you fuck, why? You could get to the top, you climb the top rope. I go, he's like, well, I got the cage there. I'm like, well, that's not, I just grabbed my head like, this is a fucking house show, man. There's 400 people out there. You want to go coast to coast on me? So I said no splash, but I took the coast to coast, and he still killed me. You're almost 400 pounds, and he wants to go coast to coast.
Jesus.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Come on, I'm relax, brother. Chill, a lot of guys still don't get it, man. That's all I got to say.
I guess with that, do you have I know you got some stuff you got to get doing tonight. You got anything else to add this week?
No, I've been watching the World Series, following football. My Steelers won, so I'm happy about that.
I've become addicted to the TV show Riverdale.
Riverdale?
Yeah, it's like Archie and Jughead and all them. And I always thought it would be kind of lame. It was one of them CW shows. Oh my God. Satanic cults, serial killers, mob hits, fucking biker gangs selling drugs. If you're a horror fan, it's a show you really need to check out. I can't stress enough how there's a guy like the Zodiac, the Black Hood in season 2. He's fucking killing all the sinners in town, writing letters to the cops and shit. It's really good.
Wow. What?
Netflix.
Netflix. Okay.
Watching that and Squid Games.
I'm bummed that Horror Story's over. I gotta wait now.
About a year and a half.
That sucks.
Watch Riverdale.
Yeah.
You'd like it.
How about Ozark? Somebody said Ozark's supposed to be.
It's kind of like that one reminds me a little bit of Sons of Anarchy.
Oh, okay.
Only not as good.
Better? Not as good.
Anarchy's better. Sons of Anarchy's real good.
So what's the name of that show again? Let's plug it again.
Riverdale.
Riverdale. All right, I'm
gonna try.
I'll check it out.
If anything, it'll occupy 40 minutes of your time.
Yes,
watch 2. Got to watch 2.
Oh, okay. At least 2 of them.
So it'll occupy an hour and a half of your time.
All right, man. Sounds good. By the way, I did see the Halloween. I thought that was awesome.
It was. He killed the whole town.
Yeah, he went off, man. I actually liked this. Was one of the best ones they did.
I think they alluded
did.
Now he is kind of supernatural or something because the way he hulked up on everybody. So
it's better that they had to do that, man. That's what was fucking killing it. But
when he got up, though, he should have went.
So I'll pull signs like very bad, very, very, very bad.
That always works.
All right, man. Here's everybody. Thank you. Have a good week.
All righty.